Alright guys, so just made it out to the pond. Current temp feels like around 28 degrees. It's a little bit cold, but you know, we got a sunny day out here, so I'm gonna see if I can get some fish. Alright, out of a new pond, a little more protected from the wind. Let me see if I can get some fish out here. I got one, guys. Whew. There we go. Honestly, was surprised there was a fish. I kept getting hung up on the bottom. And I felt this guy grab it. There we go. Look at that. New pond. Catching bass. See if there's any fish over here in these reeds in the shallows. I doubt it, but you never know. Well, there goes my last Ned rig, so looks like we're going to be switching up baits here. Alright, so I have a couple more baits that I think might work out there. The first one is this lipless crankbait right here, which I think might be a little bit too big, which is why I'm thinking about throwing this guy. But if you guys remember, I lost that front treble hook. So I think I'm going to start out with the bigger lipless, and if nothing wants to bite on that, I'll switch it up. Alright guys, I honestly think this crankbait's a little too big for this pond. It's pretty shallow. Just getting hung up a lot on the bottom. So I think I'm going to switch to that smaller crankbait and see if I can get anything. Alright guys, we downsized to this littler lipless crankbait. It only has one hook, but I actually think it's going to help it from getting stuck on all those weeds that are down there. And if those fish really want it, they'll get those back trebles. This isn't really the ideal rod to be throwing this bait on, but that's all I got, so... Got a fish. Oh, got off. So just finished up fishing at the second spot. I fished there for about an hour. I used the Ned rig, caught one fish on that, and then I used a couple different lipless crankbaits. Didn't catch anything on those, but it's real cold out there, and that kind of leads me to my next point. So I know some guys out there will rack their rods up for the winter and not do any fishing, but in my opinion, people that do that are really missing out on a good opportunity to catch fish. So I honestly used to be one of the guys that would fish in the summer, spring, fall, and then hang my rods up for the winter time, set it out, wait until spawn, wait until the weather got a little bit warmer. But that's not the best method. This year I've really been getting out more in the winter time and realizing that the winter time is also a good time to try and catch some fish. So generally in the winter you're not going to catch a lot of fish, but the fish you catch do tend to be a little more quality. And in my opinion, it just feels really good to get out of the house when it's been cold all winter and catch some fish. Another reason I really like fishing in the wintertime is because places that tend to be crowded in the summertime, like public ponds or popular spots on the reservoir, tend to be pretty dead in the wintertime, like almost no one fishing. Pretty much every day I've gone out, I've been like the only one out there. And I think that really gives you an opportunity to kind of explore the whole pond, figure out some of the points of structure, and figure out like stuff that you can use in the summertime when you're trying to fish those different bodies of water. Also, some of the ponds that I go to are a little bit harder to access, like you got to walk through the woods, and in the winter a lot of that brush and stuff dies down, and those ponds are a lot easier to access and fish. One other thing that's good about winter fishing is a lot of that algae that's on the top dies down. Like that pond I fished today, I went one time over the summer and it was pretty much unfishable. There's just a layer of algae on top and you couldn't fish it at all. Come out here in the winter time, all that algae died and gone to the bottom, and I was able to fish a Ned rig across it and produce fish. So I actually want to show you guys on the screen. I caught a couple nice bass out of a golf course pond the other day. Wasn't filming or anything, but I do want to talk about this because in the summertime when everyone's golfing and stuff, it's really hard to get out in those golf course ponds and fish them. But in the wintertime when the course is shut down, it's covered in snow and no one can be golfing, that's a good time to try to explore those golf course ponds that are otherwise unfishable. And sometimes those ponds can harvest some big fish because they don't get fished very often. I do want to say, don't trespass at these courses or anything. If you can, get permission. But generally, if there's snow on the ground, the course is going to be closed. No one's going to be out there. And I think it is a good opportunity to try and catch some good fish out of ponds that are otherwise unfishable. Alright, that's all I got for you guys. I really hope that might have talked some of you into getting the rods off the rack and getting out there and trying to catch some fish in the cold weather. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you want to see some more content, subscribe.